Hey, what's up everybody? Chief here. Thanks for checking out my most recent video. If you enjoy video games and tech, why don't you go ahead and hook this video up with a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on bells for notifications so you don't miss any of my videos or live streams. In today's video, I am doing an unboxing and review of the Flydigi WASP 2 one-handed gamepad. Now, this is coming from the very same manufacturer for the gamepad and controller that I typically use when I'm playing my games on my iPad and streaming, and that is the Apex controller by Flydigi. Now, they reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to test and give a review of this new product that they have, which is the WASP 2. I am not getting paid by them to do this. This is an honest review, and anyway, I hope that you guys do enjoy it. I am not a spokesperson or anything for this company. This is just something that I enjoy doing, and they did send me the controller to do the testing, but aside from that, I have no relationship with them whatsoever. So we will go ahead and get into the review here, and we will take a look at the controller itself. It is the WASP 2, like I said. It is actually kind of a combination. It is half gamepad and half touchscreen, which is pretty unique. Now, it is more specifically for use with the phone, whereas the Apex controller that I use on my iPad. But anyway, here is the packaging. It's actually pretty good packaging, very similar to the Apex controller that I use. Go ahead and try and get the cellophane pulled off here. I think I'm going to have to use a little blade here, so there we go. And yeah, the packaging on these units is actually pretty good. Now, they did ship this all the way from China directly to me, and I didn't have any issues with the packaging holding up in that kind of transit as it was. But anyway, so we will go ahead and take a closer look here at what exactly is in the box. Go ahead and slide that over to the side there, and let's see, go ahead and open this up, and inside we have, wow, okay, it comes with a pretty nice carrying case. This thing is actually, it's lighter than I thought it would be, but let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. And inside it looks like we have an extra button here, the metal button for the rear, and the unit itself. So definitely a pretty nice idea to include the carrying case here. And inside the top here looks like some kind of a cable and a couple of books. It looks like a warranty card and the instruction book. So here everything is laid out. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at things and see how they feel. So yeah, this is the instruction book that it came with. Shouldn't be really too much in there, but I do believe, yeah, there is a QR code there for downloading the app. The app is available on the Google Play Store and the App Store for Apple products. Now, this controller is usable by iOS or Android devices, which is great. Now, included here for cables is, go ahead and open this up, and it looks like it is a Type-C cable. Alright, so USB Type-C, that's actually pretty handy. It's always nice to have an extra USB Type-C cable around, and this is going to be used for charging the controller itself. So let me go ahead and set that to the side, and the device itself is actually, like I said, fairly light. It feels fairly well built as well. It doesn't feel too cheap. There is a release here on the back for locking your phone into the controller, and then there is the rear button for the metal button that it comes with, which is a pretty handy thing. I know I really enjoy on my Apex controller the extra buttons on the back of the controller. Now, I'm going to be doing this test here using my iPhone 10, and I didn't take it out of the case or anything, and it fits in nice and snug. It feels fairly secure. Not really too worried about it, and it really didn't add too much weight to the phone either, which is pretty nice. And then you just simply hit that release button to pull the phone back out. And then inside, there is some nice padding there to make sure that your phone does not get scratched. All of the buttons are nice and smooth. They have decent response. There is a power switch down here in the very corner. There we go. And then hidden over here in the front is actually, you pull this out and there's another Type-C connector, and that is specifically used for when you are pairing this to an Android device. For iOS you don't need that, but it also accesses the charging port on this, which is USB Type-C. So overall the build quality actually feels very nice. I was a little bit concerned that it might, feel a little cheap because it's so light, but it actually is nice and smooth, fairly ergonomic, easy to hold in my hand. And then with the phone on, it is really, it is not too heavy at all, which is a very nice thing. All of the buttons, like I said, are very smooth and tactile. Now, I showed you the QR code, and this does require an app in order to map all the buttons. Now the app is totally legit. Here it is on the App Store, and you just search Flydigi, pull up Flydigi Game Center. You can take a look at the app. It's fairly straightforward, and then you would just go ahead and download it. Now, one unique thing with the Flydigi line of products is that you can use it on any app in the App Store or on Android or iOS, and some games do try to ban people for using controllers if they don't offer controller support, but this one you don't really have to worry about that, because the technology that's used here, it simulates screen taps. So it does use Bluetooth, but it simulates the screen taps. You're not required to actually have any third-party stuff going on in the background, but basically you won't get caught by one of those game companies that bans for using a controller. But anyway, once you download the app, you just find the device that you are using. You select it, you turn on the controller itself, and then you simply hit connect, and just like that, it found it and it asks to pair. So I went ahead and I paired the device. Seems pretty easy. Now inside the app as well, they have a bunch of preloaded configurations for so many different games. You can just search the game that you want to do. Now I mainly play Call of Duty Mobile and War Robots, so let me go ahead and pull up Call of Duty Mobile, and there it is. So I just simply add that to my home screen. Now when you're actually using these controllers from Flydigi, you're not running the app that's on their little store here, or from their app. You're running the actual game file, the real one you download. So unlike some of the other Bluetooth controllers for mobile that do require you to actually run like kind of a pirated version of the game, you don't have to worry about any of that here. So anyway, if you do want to do custom configurations though, you will have to change the mode of these controllers. So it's real easy. It's you go to configure, and then it tells you need to disconnect the device from your Bluetooth and repair it. And once you pair it up again, it will be in a different mode, which allows you to fully configure and customize all of the buttons, which is super nice, especially on some of the games like PUBG or Call of Duty, where you have customizable UIs within the game itself. It's really handy and really helpful. But anyway, you go in there. It does have a small tutorial, as you can see here, on how to do some basic mapping. Just kind of slide it over what you want. Now, these controllers do get very in-depth with setting sensitivities and there's like a whole second section when you are customizing these buttons. But anyway, I'm just going to be going over some very basic mapping here. So all you do to map the controller, you take a screenshot of your UI inside of the game that you're going to be playing, and you just go back into the app and you simply load that screenshot into the custom window here. There you go, and you load the photo. It asks for access, so you give it to it, and then you load the photo or the screenshot that you just took from inside the game, so that you can actually just move the buttons over your existing layout, which is great. This is also very handy for, maybe they don't have a game listed in their app. You can do the same thing and just put buttons wherever you want and program them to do whatever it is that you're wanting done. But on here, being that I am normally a full-size controller player using my iPad, it is a little bit for me to get used to, since I really never game on my phone at all. But I am kind of excited to see if it's something that I could even do. Normally I have some difficulty with, dexterity in my fingers and such, so that's why I don't use these smaller devices like phones for my gaming. But anyway, so here all I'm doing is I'm just kind of sliding the different buttons over my layout so that it knows where on the screen to simulate the touch. It's pretty easy to do. Now this controller, it does not have like a right trigger button or anything, so I did find myself when I was using it looking for that right trigger button because I'm so used to using a controller with a right trigger. But overall, the experience, I must say, it wasn't too bad. And I think for people that are used to playing more with their hands, especially on a phone, I think this device is going to do really well. I'm really looking forward to just kind of testing it out and giving it a try. And but please keep in mind that I am not a phone player. I usually use my iPad and a full-size remote or a full-size controller. Yeah, here we are. It looks like I'm getting most of the things set up here, and I'm going to go ahead and map the Flydigi button itself over there. And you can see here, if you double tap on like the joystick, you have tons of different settings. You can set it for fixed, you can set it for moving, you can have the radius, you can have the sensitivity, everything's set differently, which is really, really good. The same thing with your trigger buttons. You can also, or all buttons basically, you can do all of these different things in the menu. So if you wanted to simulate a full click or continuous click or whatever it is that you're looking to do, you can program the buttons to do that, which really makes this product great for just about any game app on the market. Anyway, let me go ahead and just finish mapping everything here. I think I'm probably going to have to use my fingers for the trigger, which is not a problem. What did I do here? No more prompts. Okay, so once you have it set up how you want, all you have to do is save the layout, hit apply, and then up on the right hand corner up top you can hit save, and what that does is that flashes that setting to the controller itself so that you don't even have to have the app open or running or anything, and then you simply open up the game. So let's go ahead and give this controller a try. We'll see how it does playing some COD Mobile. And go ahead and I think we'll probably just run a multiplayer match, a public match. Go ahead and get through the menu here, get all that closed. Let's jump into multiplayer, and yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and hit start and see what it gives me. And it looks like okay, so we are on hijacked, and this is frontline, so should be a pretty good test here. Now it's a little bit for me to get used to as far as using half of the screen with my thumbs and then the controller on the left, but I must tell you it does free up a lot of real estate on the screen, which is great. Let's see how we can shoot here. Alright, so shooting is actually fairly smooth, and let's go ahead. The match is starting, and there's the countdown, so let's go. Yes, take off running. Let me switch to my knife so I can run a little bit faster. Or that didn't actually even register. That's fine. Go ahead and start getting some kills here. Oh, nice. Nice triple kill there. And already unlocked my UAV. Let me go ahead and call that in, see where the enemies are at. I'll take out another. Let's see. Okay, so these score streaks, I think if I spend a little bit more time on the UI and moving things around, it might actually make things a lot smoother for me. But the way it is right now, it's actually working fairly well. I'm not sure why that guy didn't die. He might have been invulnerable from just spawning. Go ahead and call in this missile real quick. Try and take this guy out. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, this thing is actually working pretty nice, and I'm actually doing a little bit better than I expected. It's pretty difficult for me to actually see on my phone. I'm so used to my iPad. Let's go ahead and knife that guy, see how that is. Go ahead. Ooh, got taken down. That's alright. Actually, I was on a pretty decent streak there, but yeah, I think anybody that typically plays on a phone, I think this would definitely up their game. And it's not, like I said, it doesn't really add much weight to the phone itself. So it's very nice in that aspect. It's very easy to hold. The movement on the joystick is very smooth. And I think another thing that I should probably do is, since I don't have the right trigger, is if I were to be playing like a shooter game like this on my phone frequently, and I wanted to use this controller, they actually make another device which is just a standalone trigger. I think I would probably order one of those. It's only like 10 or 15 bucks on Amazon. And I think I would probably throw that right trigger into place just to make things a little bit easier on myself. But yeah, I mean, this controller so far is actually impressing me. Considering I don't do any gameplay on my phone whatsoever, this is actually doing pretty good. So definitely racking up quite a few kills here. See if I can get him. Oh, missed him. What's going on? There we go. Oh, I still got taken out though. But yeah, overall, I guess I couldn't complain much about this controller. And the fact that it does come with, like the nice carrying case, I think is pretty good. So if you are somebody that likes to get into a couple of matches or a couple of games on the go, you can easily bring this with you. It is small enough. It's not like my full-size controller where I'd look kind of silly trying to play somewhere out in public with a full-size controller. But yeah, this is actually really nice. So for those of you that are into playing on your phones, definitely consider this controller. Now keep in mind, I have not really tried any other controllers for the phone, but this one actually, I think I'm fairly confident in being able to recommend it, mainly because I am familiar with the company that makes it. Their gear is very good build quality. The technology that they put into them is really nice. The app is nice and easy to use. You can get it from a trusted source coming off of out of the Google Play Store or off of the Apple Store. So you don't have to worry about any bad stuff getting added onto your device. There are quite a few different companies that do make mobile controllers, but like I said, some of them I just wouldn't trust simply because of how the app is downloaded. You have to download it not from a trusted source. You have to get it from some random web page, and you don't really know what you're getting there. But in addition to that, since you do not have to run third-party software in order for this to work, once it's mapped, it just simulates your touches and everything is good, and it is 100% safe to use on any game, even if it's a game that does not support controller use. And because they can't tell that you're actually using a controller, their scanners or whatever it is that they use for the game to detect things would only see that you are touching the screen. So that's definitely great. So anyway, just a quick test here on the other game that I play quite a bit, which is War Robots. Took a screenshot from inside of the game of the UI, and I loaded into the profile for War Robots on the app, and then I can just go ahead and start positioning my buttons everywhere that I want them. Use the left trigger here, since there's only the one trigger button on War Robots. So one thing with War Robots though, if you do use it for this game, you want to program the trigger to be click, continuous, and at level 30. For whatever reason, that is the best setting that allows you to continuously shoot your weapons, at least in War Robots. And then any extra buttons that are on the screen that you don't need, you can just simply move up to the trash can there and get rid of them. And it was at this point that I realized I don't have the proper screenshot, because I can't add there's another button in the UI, but the character I took a screenshot of didn't actually have that feature, so I just simply took another screenshot, loaded it up over, and I could add the button where I wanted it. So it's actually really simple to program these things. Now there is some learning curve, and that might come with just a different way of holding the device or whatever it is. So do keep that in mind. But overall, definitely this is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this and jump into a match, and I'll let that kind of play in the background there. Nothing important, but it worked flawlessly on War Robots, which I kind of knew that it would, since I also use my Apex controller from the same company to play my War Robots. But just kind of go over things once more with this controller. It is more specific to the phone. Now there is another version of this WASP 2 controller that does where the clamp does go up all the way up to fit an iPad or an iPad mini. If you look around for that, that might be another option for you. But for an iPad, I think I would still recommend the Apex controller over this one. But if you are strictly a gamer on your phone, then this is actually a really solid option. And I have no problem after testing this out and feeling the build quality in recommending this device to people. Definitely, my overall impression is once again, I think the company does really well. The build quality is outstanding. The battery life seems to have no issues whatsoever, and once again, the app, just the fact that you get the app out of the App Store or the Play Store, makes it way safer than having to download something from the internet. So yeah, I mean, whatever game you play, this is definitely an option. And remember that you can program these buttons to do whatever it is that you're looking to do. And there's some really advanced stuff that honestly I have not even gotten into, with setting up buttons to do like multiple things. Personally, I don't need to do that with any of the games that I play, so I haven't really looked into it. But overall, it's actually a great experience, and I was able to, definitely play these games with no problems using this controller. So definitely, if you're in the market for a gamepad for your phone, check this out. But if you are more of a tablet player, you might want to look into the Flydigi Apex, and I will put a link to my video covering the Flydigi Apex in the video description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, why don't you go ahead and hook it up with a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and until the next video, Chief out.